Hello, speed golfers. The professor of speed golf here, and I'm pleased to introduce the world's first ever watch app dedicated to the sport of speed golf. So let's take a look here. One of the first things to observe is the courses menu, which allows us to add courses to the watch. It's important to understand that the watch app works completely offline. You need to be connected to your phone in order to add courses, but once you have the courses you need, you can uh, you can go and play, and you don't need to have your phone. So I've added some courses here. There's a simple interface for removing or reordering the courses, and there's a simple interface for adding, including if you're near the course you want to add, you can use the geolocator option, or you can just search by course name or a substring of the name. So I just want to show now the settings. So there's a lot of customization that's possible here. And some of this is future work, but some of this works right now. So right now, it only supports speed golf, but in the future, it'll support sprint golf as well, which basically stops the clock in between holes and times only the holes. So the score entry method, as you'll see when we get further into the demo, is hole by hole scoring, manual scoring. And in manual scoring, you essentially click the lap button when you finish each hole, and a score entry screen appears, and it shows the default hole score, and you can then use up and down to select to fine tune that. And once you have it fine-tuned, you can set a delay, and so you don't have to touch any more buttons. After 3 seconds, it just saves that score. Now, if you accidentally stop doing that, the app still functions. It uses geofencing to recognize when you're past the hole, and it will show the score entry screen and give you one last chance to enter your score before you advance to the next hole on the app. And if you fail to do that, it just registers the default score, which is no problem because you can always clean that up later. And so in terms of screens, it offers the detailed screen, which is the main screen that I expect a lot of people will want to use. It has all the values of interest, but it also allows you to swipe up and down on a carousel through different screens that you might choose. You can enable or disable them. In this example, I have them all enabled. Running pace, heart rate, so you just basically can look at those on a single screen, and those include both the immediate value and the average value. It has a neat projected finish, which gives you the projected finish both in strokes and time based on your current performance. You can always scroll to the time of day if you're under a time crunch and you need to be back by a certain time. And round status just shows you basically your current strokes and time as of the last hole that you've completed. And then for a more compact view that some may prefer, you can show the yardage and round time in one screen. So let's start a round. So you click here, you choose the course, and I'll choose my home course, Palouse Ridge, which has 2 mapped tee sets, and I'll pick the black. And so essentially now I just hit the start button to start the round. And we go into round tracking mode, and this is what I call the detailed view with hole time and strokes showing. The yards to the hole is dynamically updated using GPS, and this also has an arrow to point you in the right direction towards the hole. So it's a navigational aid. And this is especially handy for those who are unfamiliar with the course they're playing. And this also works to run to the next tee, as I'll show you shortly here. So as the round time counts down, I'm going to hit the back button, and then I can either touch on a touchscreen or use the up and down buttons to set the hole score based on par. We'll give ourselves a birdie there, and then it gives you a summary of your round so far, and it goes back to this tracker. Now let's swipe through some of these screens. That's my my current stats score through hole one screen. You can see I'm doing very well. I'm all in red numbers there. And then the time of day screen, projected finish, I would finish with 18 birdies. That's 54. And then I'm really tearing it up at this rate. So 36 minutes and 37 seconds under par. Now I don't have, this is a simulator, so I don't have the running pace. It's not tracking actively, but it will work, as will the heart rate. So I'm back then to the main screen. And so I'll just enter one more screen. You can see there's the 2-hole, and I'll just give myself a par here. And it goes back. And you'll see here, this is important. See the yellow arrow? That means I'm running to the tee. It'll give you the distance to the tee from where your current position, and this will point you in the right direction. And I have to click. Now this will automatically toggle the next hole once I get within, I think it's 50 yards of the next tee. But I can also toggle there with the back button, the lap button, to get me to the next hole. And we'll just pretend here that we finished this hole, and I'll give myself an eagle on this hole. And after this, let me just stop and show you some of the functionality we can do when we're paused. So you can pause your round at any point. And of course, you can resume it. But at this point, you can also view and edit your scorecard. Now, you cannot edit previous holes of your scorecard while you're playing. The user interface for that's pretty tricky, and it's not implemented in the first version of this. It could be implemented down the road, but if you're willing to pause, you can use this editing interface, and it shows you the hole you just finished. And I can scroll forward or backwards. If I scroll forwards, I can see my 9-hole and 18-hole scores so far. And if I scroll forwards, I can see my scores on each hole. And I can edit each hole I can go into the editing mode by clicking the start button. And I could change this to a birdie. The yellow means it's going to update. So now I can back out of this. And when I back out again, it's going to make me confirm the change. So the hole updates are saved. I can also view round stats at this point. And I could actually go and reset the settings. Like, for example, if I wanted to change the score entry so that it's less than 3 seconds delay, maybe, or more. Let's say I'm finding that delay to be too short. I can go in and change that. And I could also save or discard round at this point. So that kind of gets you through everything that you would need to know. I'll just, for fun here, I'll save it. You can save partial rounds. And when a round is saved, it goes into your Garmin activities with all of the biometrics, and it also is uploaded to your SpeedScore account. So that covers everything, I think, and I hope you really enjoy this, and I'm looking forward to your feedback.